Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Shannon. I'm a homeschool mom of 3 and today is hair cutting day. I cut my husband's hair. I've been cutting his hair at least 10-12 years. I mean, I've mastered his head, I say, because he always likes to offer me up and cut other people's hair, but I tell him, I'm like, I know how to cut your hair. I don't know how to cut their hair. Stop offering my services out. I don't get paid enough for that. So anyway, I'm not gonna cut his hair today. Maybe I'll do another video on that if you'd like to see that. We just recently cut his hair. So today it is just the kids. If you are a hairstylist, you may wanna look away. Let's get started. I have a barber cape. I have clippers. I also used my husband's beard trimmer. I've got to see if I can find that. Most of this stuff I've got on Amazon, so I will find those links and put them in the description box. But you need a good set of clippers. We've had this wall clipper for a while, so I would recommend them. Then you need a good pair of cutting shears, and I use this on myself. I don't really use this on the kids, but this is used to just kind of texturize or thin out bulk in hair. If you have a tender-headed child, some leave-in conditioner. Fun fact, TJ Maxx sells this. Apparently I've torn the label off, but this is usually very expensive and it was very reasonable. A clip to pull hair back, a comb, a mirror, optional, and we have a wet brush. I almost forgot to mention, you are going to want a spray bottle with water. I got this at Walmart for like $1. First up is Ella. She is my tender-headed child. I have not had the girl's haircut in probably, I don't know, over a year. You can tell it's been a while. The last haircut they had were little angled bobs, and this is the product all grown out. I am always terrified to cut the girl's hair. I am always afraid I'm going to mess it up. However, this time I feel pretty confident. At this point, we are just doing trims. You'll see later, Grace decides to get a lot cut off. But Ella's just wanting a trim. We really do this just out of necessity. Ella's hair gets tangled so bad. It's always creating little bird nests in the back. And I wish she would cut it shorter, but she really, really likes her long hair. So we are just kind of working through it. I really like that it's a 10 leave-in conditioner. It seems to work really well on her hair. And then we just have to make sure we brush her hair in the morning and brush her hair in the evening. And when I'm on my A game, I'll braid it at night. That way it doesn't get tangly. But her hair's been like that since day one. It's funny how each kid has a different hair type. Ella has really thin hair, Grace has really thick hair, and Eric has really curly hair. So at this point, I have divided her hair into a top section and a bottom section. Then I'm just combing straight down. I'm starting in the middle and cutting that to the length that I want it to be at. Then I'm pulling the sides from the front and pulling those straight back and trimming it even with the middle section. What this does is when her hair goes forward, it will actually be a little bit longer in the front. Kind of a slight angle. Once I've got the bottom section done, I let down the top section. You'll see with Grace, I have to do more than a top and a bottom section just because her hair is so thick. So if you try this with your child and they have thick hair, you're going to want to break it up into sections. So I'm just trimming the top, same process. Start in the middle and then work around to the sides, pulling it straight back and cutting it even. I apologize for all the weird camera angles and bouncy movement. Hopefully it's not making y'all too sick. Turns out it's quite difficult to film a video of someone cutting hair. I needed to call in reinforcements for someone to hold the camera for me because I kept blocking the camera. Grace is holding the camera for me and she's a little bouncy, so I apologize. All right, so I brush it through one last time after I'm done cutting just to make sure there's no loose hairs, and I also go back through and do a little point cutting. That way it's not such a blunt cut. To point cut, all I do is hold the scissors vertically or at a very slight angle and just kind of cut the tips of the hair. It doesn't take off very much and it just leaves it like a nice soft edge. While I was cutting her hair, I noticed that there was like a chunk missing from the front part of her hair. And I asked her, I said, "Did you cut your hair?" I was like, "There's like a whole piece missing." And she said, like the last time I did it was 4 months ago. I said, "Ella." So anyway, I'm going in and just kind of blending that area in with like a little face frame. I'm holding the hair tight and just cutting the front pieces at an angle. So I know I've linked this blow dryer before in the past, and I'll link it down below again. I won't waste too much time talking about it. But if you don't know what this is a Revlon one-step hair dryer. It's a blow dryer round brush in one, and it is literally one of the best inventions in modern history. They sell generic ones on Amazon. Do not, I repeat, do not buy that. The first one I owned, the handle melted. I was terrified. And then I sent that one back and they sent me another one, and then the controls stopped working. It only blew on one temperature and one speed, and that was it. So Ella's hair took me about 20 minutes start to finish. And I'm just checking for any loose strands that I may have missed. And it's looking good. Do you love it? I didn't take off too much length, so you still have really long hair. Now for Grace's hair. I keep saying that her hair is thick, but I think she actually has my hair type where the hair is actually thin. We just have a lot of it. But it also doesn't tangle very easily. So I don't know. She may have thick hair or she may have something else. If you know, sound off below, although all the hairstylists may have exited this video already. Anyway, the whole point of that was to say I have to really be intentional on sectioning it. I work in very small sections at a time, but I do the same process. So I cut in the middle. Again, now we got Ella on the camera, so things are a little bit wobbly. But I start in the middle with Grace's hair, and then I work to the sides, pulling the side hairs back and cutting it even with that center section so that she has a slight angle when she pulls her hair forward. Does anyone else suffer from the "I think I can do that" syndrome? I originally started cutting hair to save money when Steven and I were newlyweds and our income was tight. We really just could not afford $20 haircuts every 2 weeks. And so I thought, I think I can do that. So we bought our first set of clippers and I went to town. There are a lot of good YouTube videos out there that'll teach you how to cut just about any style there is out there. Of course, it does not replace a professional. Like I said, we do this out of necessity right now so we can avoid going out in public as much as possible and also to save money. I mean, I've cut 3 kids' hairs. I cut my husband's hair. Doing the math, that's like $100. And that's just with cheap haircuts, no extras. Doing simple haircuts like trims and blunt cuts, those don't really faze me. It's when they want bobs or cute little pixie haircuts. That's when I call in the professionals. I'm not quite that brave. I was even a little nervous to go this short on Grace. Long hair is So much more forgiving than short hair. But she insisted and we did it, and it ended up turning out just fine. We'll see if she loves it at the end. I think we figured out finally a good camera angle towards the end of Grace's haircut. Now I'm just doing the last and final sections. I think I counted a total of 4 total sections of her hair. You know you have a good section when you can see the length of the hair underneath as your guide. If you can't see your guide, then that is your indication that you need a smaller section. Do I sound like I know what I'm doing yet? I should probably reiterate, I am not a professional, so I could be doing this totally wrong, and all hairstylists everywhere are cringing. It took me about 30 minutes to cut Grace's hair start to finish. She also has bangs in the front. You'll notice we don't touch those. She is growing those out. She loves a good hair change. She's always asking me if she can dye it, cut it. She's done a pixie in the past, and I love that. I love that she likes to express herself through her hairstyle. As I was blow drying Grace's hair, I noticed that it was not wanting to cooperate. I could tell it was still a little thick, so I took the thinning shears to the bottom of her hair. I tried a few different techniques that I have seen out there just to remove the bulk on the bottom. My hair does this too, and oftentimes, although I have a really wonderful hairstylist now, the past couple of hairstylists I've had have done a really good job at helping me thin my hair out. But for the longest time, I would come home, my hair would look great leaving the salon, come home, do it myself, and then it would do this. So I bought these thinning shears just to handle it myself, and I have found the best way is to hit the underneath layers, and you're taking the scissors underneath the hair to thin it out from there. And you can twist it, you can cut it at an angle. There are a lot of techniques. You can find lots of YouTube videos out there to show you how to do it. I'm not sure I have a way that I like best, but I do know that taking it out from the bottom keeps the hairs from being cut short on top and creating flyaways. Now you can see the hairs being a little more cooperative, still a little resistant. I probably could have stood to take a little bit extra out, so I may end up doing that in the future. Just depends once her hair kind of settles.
I love it, look.
I think we did okay, Grace.
I love it so much. I like a witcher on the witcher. On the witcher.
Put your superhero cape on.
On the witcher.
Okay. I gotta get it nice and wet. Okay. You got some dirt in your hair. What is that?
That's on outside.
You put dirt in your hair?
Mm-hmm. I probably went outside by myself with the elf.
Alright. Get some smell good stuff. Right.
I eat it.
You eat it?
Uh-huh. I'm always like that. I'm like that. I'm on bone. Hey, why is your like that? Why is your like that, Mommy?
Because.
Oh, nice. I got my head. Wow. Wow. I really like that.
You really like that? I had to leave that little dialogue in. I just thought it was so cute when I was watching it back. Oh, I love him so much. Don't love cutting his hair. I find paying the $20, $25 is well worth it. He's not exactly the best customer. Temperamental, wiggly, but we are really trying to do our part in staying out of public places. We're also really trying to save money. Just like so many families out there, our income took a hit with the pandemic. So you saw me start off by brushing all the hair on the top, kind of brushing it all to the center of the top of his head and then putting it in a clip to keep it out of my way. And then I took the clippers on a level 1 guard all the way around. Doing it on the lowest level just gives me extra time in between haircuts. After I'm done buzzing it all the way around, then I start the blending process. This helps sort of establish a guide on the sides for when I blend the top and the sides together. I'll come back around and clean it up here towards the end to bring everything together. Right now I am establishing the top length of the hair. I am pulling it all up. I like it longer in the front and then I like it to taper back. So that's what you see here. Once I have the top the length I want it, I start blending it in with the sides. All you're doing is pinching the top and the sides together and you'll see a little tip to cut off, and that blends everything together nicely. Okay, so I need to go around his head and just kind of clean this part up. So that's usually my process. I take up the sides, kind of hand trim up the front, and then the last part is just kind of blending the edges all together to make it look nice. So that's what we're gonna do next. So first I'll go around the edges with my clippers, kind of fading up the bottom part, and then I'll take the shears and just fine tune it even more. I'm pinching again the sides with, I guess, the middle and taking off any extra, and that will just give you a really nice blend. So we're just gonna fine tune that up and he'll be all set. Had I used a longer guard, which sometimes I will do, I'll do a longer guard on the sides, I would need to take a detail trimmer. I use my husband's beard trimmer. They also sell trimmers specifically for that, and what that does is just clean up the hairline around the ear and along the back. But he was getting very fidgety at this point, so I didn't bother. He really didn't need it because his hair was so short. Alright, let's get this off.
I'm done. Cheese, cheese.
You like it? Now I gotta take a bath, right, to get all the hairs off. Alright, that does it for our hair cutting video. If you have any questions, put those down in the comment section. I'll try and get to those. And other than that, y'all have a blessed day. Say something kind to yourself, and we will see you in the next video.